So let's learn a little bit about these styles of loving now that you have figured out what your top two are. So Storge is called a friendship lover, and they believe that the best type of love comes out of friendship, that love is just a deep form of friendship. Now, those of you that don't really have a high level S, you would probably believe in something called stuck in the friend zone. But people who are Storge, they wouldn't say that because they always start as friends, or they usually start as friends, and you wouldn't be stuck in the friend zone because you could transition over at any point. Whereas other people seem to believe, nah, I know right away, are you a friend or are you something more? Okay, so Storge love is called the friendship lover. What's interesting about this is, like, it's fun for me to teach this in person because I like to ask you guys, how many of you believe that people can be friends after they're lovers? And only some of you will. Some of you will be like, no way, they can't be friends, you can never go back to being friends. But somebody with a high Storge, they're gonna say, absolutely, they were my friends before, I can be friends after. And then other people will be like, nah, there's always going to be something there. And that's the same thing with when I ask people, I'm like, do you think men and women can be friends? And those of you who have pretty high Storge, yeah, you would probably say, or I don't know, maybe it doesn't really have much to do with this, but some of you are going to say yes, and some of you are going to say no. So I know for me personally, I can definitely be friends with men and not feel any attraction to them whatsoever. Now, why that is we could look at, again, with everything that we've been talking about in classes, it's probably a combination of my upbringing, my biology, so on and so forth. But let's go to the next one. Let's go to agape lover. So the agape lover is called the unconditional lover. And so these are the ones, so again, it would be fun for me to teach you this in person, is I would be in class, and this is how I run this one, is I'm like, hey, how many of you could forgive somebody for cheating on you? And I would estimate maybe 20% of the class can. And usually those are the people that are the agape lovers. They believe that they should put their lover before themselves. They're very forgiving. It's like unconditional. Like, I think agape love would be the way that I love my sons. No matter what they do, I could forgive them. So an agape lover loves people like that. So those of you that are agape, I want you to know that you're special. And the problem with agape is that other people sometimes don't realize how special you are. And sometimes agape gets treated badly because they give so much. So agape says, I love giving. I want to take care of my lover. I put my lover's needs before myself. So the cheating they could probably forgive. Okay, now contrast this with mania. So mania is called the possessive lover. And I think a mania person is going to have a hard time with cheating. Because mania believes that love is emotional. And if you don't feel a strong emotion, then you might not feel love. So it's actually kind of rare, but it does happen, is if you have an S and an M as your top two love styles. And what happens with S and M as your top two love styles is you believe that love is very emotional, but also you're a deep form of friends. So like they want to be with their partners at all times because they're best friends, and then they like to have emotional intensities. So for example, somebody with a high S and a high M, like if you sat them at different parts of the table at a party, they probably wouldn't like it because they would want to be right next to their partner, because not only are they their best friend, but they're their emotional intensity. So the mania tends to be very kind of possessive. So definitely, if I ask, here's the question that I would ask the class. So how many of you believe that if someone doesn't get a little jealous when you flirt with someone else, then they don't really love you? And a mania person would definitely say that. They would say, no, jealousy is part of love. And there's nothing wrong with any of these. It's just, it's good for you to know which one you are, so you can be careful with what your triggers are. You can, like with agape, you have to be careful. People can walk on you because you're so nice. You have to have a little bit of that pragma in there, which will go to pragma. So the problem with mania is that they can get a little unstable when they're in love. So these are the ones that get so caught up emotional intensity that it can be like a trigger. So those of you that are mania, okay, again, your greatest strength is your greatest weakness. So you're probably a very passionate person. And, passion is good, right? But you need to be careful if you get with somebody that triggers, like crimes of passion. Why do people do these crazy things? I would say there's some mania involved. So those of you who have high mania, you can get knocked pretty unstable. So be careful with who you let in your life. Okay, pragma. So this is a fun one too, is I would ask the class this, and I remember a long time ago I had a class that was really, there was a lot of them that were pragmas, and it was fun. I would say, how many of you know exactly what you're looking for in a partner? So those of you who say yes to that and you have certain criteria that you're looking for in a partner, you're probably high on pragma. So the pragma people are, I know what I'm looking for is I'm looking for somebody who wants to get married someday maybe, or wants to have kids, or somebody who has this intelligent level, or somebody who has this amount of income, or somebody that's going to reflect well on my family, is they approach love in a logical way. I'm going to choose a partner that's good for me. I'm going to choose a partner that suits my lifestyle. And so they approach love more with their head. So like with the mania, I feel like it's more of that heart. And so what happens is somebody who has high mania and high pragna, when you have those two mixed styles, is I call them the flip-flop lovers. It's like those of you who feel like, oh, I can't decide between my head and my heart, I feel like you're going between mania and pragma. So on the one hand, oh, this person has this quality, this quality, this quality, this quality, and I really like this. But then there's like probably another part of them that's not working for your mania. And so you keep flip-flopping back and forth. Like, for example, maybe somebody cheated on you. So your mania is like, no way, I'm never going to be with you. But then your pragma says, oh, but there was this, there was this, there was this. Or you say, this person is good, good, good. I'm going to try to be with them because they match my head. But then your mania is not happy with maybe the sexual attraction that you're having for them. So the pragma lever is logical lever. Now, what sucks about pragma, it's good and bad. Okay, all of them have good and bad. Okay, right? What sucks about pragma is that pragma will love you as long as you fulfill their requirements. But if you don't fulfill their requirements, you're done. So for example, if a pragmatic lover says, I'm choosing you because I trust you and I think that you're a good, stable worker and I don't know, whatever other criteria. And then the person loses their job. The pragmatic person could well fall out of love with them because you no longer have a job, which that was my criteria. So therefore, no job equals no love. I know. But as long as you meet their requirements, then they'll stay in love with you because they're head people. But so like, it's like they have certain rules that they want you to follow. And then if you don't follow them, then pragma's pretty quick to be like, well, I don't love you anymore. You're not the same person that I chose. Okay. Ludus. These are the ones that's called the game player lever. And they believe that love should be fun. And there's different degrees of ludus. Like there's some ludus that will say what my lover doesn't know won't hurt them. Because love should be fun. And if love is no longer fun, then they need something in their life to make it fun. So if you were to ask me which love style is most likely to cheat on you, it's usually ludus. because it's fun. It doesn't even mean anything. It's more like a challenge sometimes. So if you ask a ludus, if you tell me, are you able to have an open relationship? I'm going to guess you have high levels of ludus. So some of you, no way, I could never have an open relationship. And those of you, absolutely, I can have an open relationship. Why wouldn't you have an open relationship? That's ridiculous that you don't. So those of you who kind of have that notion, you're probably got some ludus in you. But I'm not saying that all ludus people are cheaters, because ludus just needs to have fun in life. So if they have a partner that lets them go and have fun, doesn't try to tie them down, like can go out with their friends to have fun or can go here and have fun, then a ludus can be happy. But ludus, if they feel like I'm not having any fun, I'm being tied down, I think they're not going to be in love. So if you have a ludus person, I think it's important that you understand how much fun means to them, that they need to have fun. Okay, the last one, Eros, is the love style is called the romantic lover. So the romantic lover is, they believe in love at first sight. So some of you don't believe that. It's more like, it's like a feeling, but it's more like, so Eros and Mania, if you guys tell me, oh, I'm Eros and Mania, I'm going to be like, woo, that's a person that definitely goes with their heart. They're pretty intense. They kind of believe in love at first sight, and love is magical, and I want to wear the same clothes as you. We have the same license plates. We leave like love letters a lot. We do romantic dates. It should be about romance. Love is about like romantic gestures, and we spend time. Now, some of you are like, ugh, I want to throw up with Eros. But check this out. Styles in relationships. Now, this is where the textbook and I have some little differences, so I'm so glad that you're listening to this lecture, because on the test, I think I'm going to go with what I say, okay? But we'll probably go with all three. So I believe that your textbook says that storge and agape are good for relationships. Okay, we can see that, yes. But I'm going to tell you that I read the entire book of Styles of Loving by Lee and Lee. And I remember, and I have the book here, that they actually said S and E were very good. They also incorporated E, not just S and A, but they said E was good. So that's why I'm bringing it up here. Look. Do you really want to be married to your best friend, or do you want some romance in your life? I mean, I want to be married to my best friend, but I also want some romance. So the couples that we're going to talk about marriage couples, and I'm going to tell you the greatest marriage advice that I can give you is you need to have time for romance once those kids come. Because what happens is you get so caught up in the kids and you lose the romance, and then somebody looks for it somewhere else. So, if the styles in relationships that seem to be the strongest are ones that incorporate the styles of loving of storge, agape, and eros. Now, can you get rid of your desire for mania, pragma, and ludus? The research says no. It's kind of like a personality type. But I think just knowing this information and consciously making choices of, hey, I need to find somebody that's my friend. Hey, I need to give. I want to take care of my partner. I'm going to try giving more. And hey, romance is definitely appreciated. It's something to think about. Well, I'm hitting the 15-minute mark, and I try to keep all of them under 15. So I'm going to stop now, and I do have another link that you guys can read up onto. And you can also search the web and look in your textbook for more information about the styles of living.